Alright, so chapter 208 of The Greatest Estate Developer kicks off in a breathtakingly beautiful and serene landscape. We see lush green mountains and a vibrant, almost magical-looking flower blooming. But the peaceful scene quickly changes as we zoom in on the Dragon King, who looks incredibly weak and weary. He's lying on a massive bed of shimmering gold coins and treasures, a sight that would normally be grand, but right now, it just emphasizes how frail he has become. He looks over at the concerned elf beside him and weakly says, "You saw, didn't you, how I died?" He reflects on his own tyranny, acknowledging the kind of ruler he was. A strange curse was placed upon him, a curse so powerful that even he, the mighty Dragon King, wasn't able to dispel it. His thoughts immediately turn to Lloyd. He wonders, with his immense power, how he might get to him, how he can reach out to him one last time. The elf, looking incredibly distressed and on the verge of tears, can only watch as the Dragon King's form seems to flicker. It's clear the end is near. The Dragon King continues to think about Lloyd, lamenting that this is how their connection ends, without him being able to do anything in return for the kindness Lloyd showed him. But then a realization dawns on him. He says out loud that no, it's not over yet. He's a dragon, and a dragon will always find a way. You can see the determination flash in his eyes even in his weakened state. He declares that he will find him. He remembers the seed Lloyd gave him, this tiny thing that he built his entire lair inside of. He realizes now how much of a powerful and divine item it truly is, something far beyond his own understanding. He looks intently at the elf, telling him to tell him where Lloyd is. Suddenly, the Dragon King seems to surge with a final burst of energy. He stands up, his form still shimmering with power, and a green aura envelops him. The ground shakes and rocks begin to levitate around him as he gathers his remaining magic. It's a truly awesome sight. The elf just looks on, completely stunned and maybe a little scared, unsure of what the king is planning to do. With a final push of his will, the Dragon King materializes a small, white, glowing object in his hand. It looks like a smooth, polished stone or a coin with a golden marking on it. He holds it out to the elf. He instructs the elf to press the activation button on the amulet, and Lloyd's soul fragment will awaken right away. The elf takes the object, looking at it with a mix of awe and confusion. The Dragon King explains that he has always been good with his hands, and that he even enjoyed making things like this. It's a small, personal moment that shows a different side to the fearsome ruler. As the elf presses the button as instructed, a bright light emanates from it. The light shoots up and forms a figure. It's Lloyd, or rather, a spectral, glowing version of him. The elf looks up in shock, uttering Lloyd's name in disbelief. Lloyd, in his soul fragment form, looks down at the weakened Dragon King lying back on the gold. He seems to understand the situation immediately. He simply says, "I figured you show up and make a big fuss." It's such a classic Lloyd thing to say, even in this serious moment. He then calls the Dragon King a scheming reptile, but there's no malice in it, more like a term of endearment between them. The Dragon King, using the last of his strength, looks up at Lloyd's soul, and a faint smile appears on his face. Lloyd's soul fragment then bows his head deeply, his voice full of genuine gratitude. He says, "Thank you, merciful Dragon King." It's a powerful moment of acknowledgement for the king's final act of kindness. And then the scene shifts dramatically. We are no longer in the fantasy world. We see a view from space with what looks like Earth and its moon. Suddenly, massive beams of light like meteors or energy blasts are raining down from space, striking the planet. The scene zooms in on a continent at night, the city lights glowing just before the impacts begin. It's an apocalyptic event. We cut to a chaotic scene on the ground. Beams of energy are crashing down, and we see the legs of someone running desperately. A massive laser beam from some unseen machine vaporizes people instantly. It's a horrific, futuristic battlefield. Amidst the chaos, we see the body of the elf from the Dragon King's lair lying on the ground, seemingly dead. A figure who looks just like Javier crouches over the body. It's a harrowing scene of loss and destruction. The entire area is littered with bodies, and the sky is filled with smoke and the orange glow of fires. This Javier-like character walks through the devastation, the setting sun casting long, somber shadows. He stumbles upon another body, someone he clearly recognizes. He calls out the name Kim Suho. This is, of course, Lloyd's original name from his life on Earth, so this apocalyptic event is from their shared past. This person, who we'll assume is the original Javier, looks down at the body of Kim Suho, his friend. His face is filled with sorrow and regret. He says, "You don't even know." He collapses to his knees, overwhelmed by grief. He wishes that he had learned more about Kim Soo-ho, that he had taken the time to understand him better. He's clutching something in his hand, and as he opens it, we see it's a seed, the very same kind of seed that Lloyd gave to the Dragon King. It's the dragon heart. He holds the seed and looks at Kim Soo-ho's body. He wonders aloud how things might have been different. He questions if there was any way to prevent this tragedy. He admits that he just doesn't know. He seems to be talking to himself, processing the immense loss. His thoughts become more specific. He thinks about what he should have done. If he had known Kim Soo-ho's true identity, maybe that he was a transmigrator or someone from another world, what could he have done differently? It seems he had some inkling of Lloyd's true nature but never acted on it. His face is a mask of pure regret. Suddenly he looks up with a new sense of purpose. The scene flashes back to a moment during the chaos. We see him falling backwards, seemingly off a tall building or cliff, with Kim Soo-ho safe on the ledge above. It appears he sacrificed himself to save Kim Soo-ho. He thinks to himself, we might be able to meet again here. He seems to be putting a plan into motion, a desperate gamble. As he falls, he sees Kim Soo-ho reaching out for him, a look of shock and horror on his face. In the background, a rocket is launching, perhaps an escape vessel. He smiles a sad, knowing smile. He's made his choice. Then we see a strange, almost monstrous green hand emerge from his body. It seems to be some kind of power he possesses. He shouts out, "Hey Javier, this time it's my turn to be the main character, don't you get it?" This line is a bit confusing, suggesting a complex relationship, or perhaps he's talking to yet another person. He continues his inner monologue, saying that you really are a bad person. He screams in rage or effort as he pushes back against some unseen force, protecting Kim Soo-ho from a collapsing structure. He admits that he resents him, but he also understands him. It's a torrent of conflicting emotions born from a deep and complicated bond. As he continues to fall, his purpose becomes clear. He's making way for Kim Soo-ho. His sacrifice is meant to ensure Kim Soo-ho survives. His final words to him, yelled out as he plummets, are a simple, heartfelt request. Take good care of this world, protagonist. He acknowledges Kim Soo-ho as the main character of the story, accepting his own role as a supporting character, making the ultimate sacrifice. The scene then transitions back to the fantasy world, to Lloyd, who is no longer a soul fragment but is back in his own body. He's sleeping, but his expression is troubled. Suddenly, a spectral hand reaches out and touches his face. He wakes up with a start, his eyes snapping open. Standing before him are spectral figures looking like shadowy spirits. In the center is the soul of the man who just sacrificed himself in the vision, the original Javier. He looks down at Lloyd and says, "What, you know who I am? That's lame shit." He seems almost disappointed that he was recognized so easily. He then says, "What a pain, I was there, you see." His form begins to flicker and fade like a dying ember. Lloyd just stares, his expression unreadable as he processes this impossible reunion. The soul of his old friend looks at him one last time. He whispers Lloyd's real name, or at least part of it. Javier. It seems he is finally nomming himself, confirming his identity. His soul then completely disintegrates into particles of light, leaving Lloyd alone in the quiet room. Lloyd continues to stare at the empty space where his friend's soul was just moments ago, his face a mixture of shock, confusion, and a deep, unspoken sadness. The chapter ends right there, on that intense, emotional cliffhanger.